The Art of Murder by Sidney Tate. Chapter 3. May 17th, 2023. Wednesday. After losing most of the previous afternoon to anger and worry, I do my best to put Mara out of my mind. I tell myself the zoning notice is only a coincidence, and I'll get to the bottom of it after I finish setting up the shop. I rush through hanging the last of the clocks and start lugging typewriters into the front room. They're much heavier today than when Chase helped me move in last month. My thoughts quickly turn to Chase and my sister's advice to call him about the notice. No, I tell myself out loud, I can't call Chase for every minor inconvenience. Spot rubs against my feet, and I give him long pets from head to tail. His short hair is so soft and calming. "Where's your brother?" I ask, thinking of Fluff's unruly mane. As if on cue, I hear the telltale scratching and run, typewriter in hand, to the living room set. "Mr. Fluffster!" He stops mid-scratch at the sound of his full name. "That rug costs more than this entire building. No scratching." He turns to look at me, then at Spot, still at my feet. They exchange words, and Fluff trots off. True siblings. The typewriter weighs a ton, and I set it on the coffee table. I hear my appraiser, Mr. Hunt's, voice in my head, chiding me about scratching the 17th century tea table, as he called it. But as I look at the 1930s Erica 3 sitting there, I find I kind of like it. My phone buzzes in my pocket, and I jump, sure it really is Mr. Hunt. Then I groan when I see the message. "Hump day!" "How old are you, Rye?" I send back to my brother, Ryland. "How's the grand opening?" My first thought is Mara and the zoning notice, but Ryland is a couple of years older than me and Alyssa. He never got to witness all that drama. "Great. Never realized how much stuff I had." "I could have told you." Hardy har har. "How are Maria and the babies?" His response is a picture of the twins, Louis and Luz, in their high chairs with spaghetti all over the place. My heart soars. They're getting so big. I can't wait to get back up there before the cold. Better hurry. Ryland and his family moved to Alaska a few years ago when Maria got a job offer she couldn't refuse. I send him back a shivering emoji. As soon as I put the phone back in my pocket, it rings. Assuming it's Emerald, I push the button and say, "Get your butt over here." A deep male voice chuckles and replies, "I would, sweetie, but I don't think this wheelchair has enough juice." "Oh, Mr. G, sorry. I thought you were M." "No, but I do have good news. The Livingstone is in." "Wow, I'll be right there." I nearly hung up on Mr. G before adding, "Thank you." I look around my shop, knowing I'm getting farther behind every day, but I just have to get my hands on that Livingstone. "I'm going out. You two behave," I call to the cats before rushing out the door. Mr. G's bookshop is all the way across town, but I assure myself I have time before M shows up. M time is at least an hour behind the rest of the world. It's one of the many things I secretly love about her. She's so carefree. The air is brisk and smells of rain, and I wonder how long I have before it makes its way down the mountain. By the looks of the bright blue sky, I figure it's a couple of hours, and decide to walk to Mr. G's. "You're stalling," I tell myself, but push the thought aside. It's a beautiful day, and I'm only thinking beautiful thoughts. It's easy to stay upbeat when you're back home. After moving away for college, and then staying away for a failed relationship, coming back to my roots was just what I needed. Although my family had since scattered, the sleepy little town still called to me. It didn't hurt that after the breakup, Em insisted I move in with her while I recovered. Although I'm sure she's glad I've got my shop and the spacious apartment attached to it. Her cute little cottage home was no match for me and all my treasures. I take a deep breath of the clean mountain air. I can't believe how lucky I am to call Landrum, South Carolina, home again. Nestled at the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the views never disappoint. When I was little, I'd stand outside our door and just stare up at the house atop the hills and dream about what kind of life that would be. We lived comfortably growing up. I drove up the parkway several times a year, but to live there would be unimaginable. To walk out your back door and be on top of the world. Someday. The smell of fresh roses brings me out of my daydream. Then I hear Miss Minnie calling my name as if she's already tried to get my attention a few times. I stop to help her carry some of the larger potted plants out to the sidewalk. Miss Minnie has to be the oldest person in our whole town, but she's out here every day tending to her flower shop, Minnie's Mountain Lilies. Lovely day for a stroll, isn't it? Miss Minnie surveys the sky and sniffs the air. Long as you're back before supper. Oh, I will be, I reply and pick up the heavy shrub-looking plant with purple and blue flowers. Are you headed up to Norm's? So sad. Norm? It takes me a moment to place the name. Old Man Foster. I ask, then instantly regret it. Miss Minnie has to have at least a few decades on Mr. Foster. Miss Minnie doesn't seem to notice or care. Yes, poor thing, fell off his roof Saturday. That's horrible. His roof? What in the world was he doing on his roof? Lord knows, Junie, Lord knows. She says almost to herself. Heard Becky Ward was up there already selling off the estate. Figured that's where you were headed. Wow, that's fast. Fast, Miss Minnie replies, as if she heard my thoughts. I can't imagine, but then I don't have an entire estate to leave Ben and Susie, so no sense rushing on my account. Don't talk like that, Miss Minnie. You're going to outlive all of us. I take the tray of seedlings from her and set them on the display table. That's the plan, she smiles up at me, and it warms my heart. She pats my arm and adds, You should get up there if you're going to make it back before the rain. Don't let those big city vultures get their hands on his life's work. I nod in agreement. The living stone can wait. For all my wandering about the houses in the mountain, that old house on the hill captured my childhood imagination most of all. End of chapter 3.